Hi, I am unboxing this binder watercolor travel set from Lightwish. I don't know if you guys have heard of the brand Lightwish. It's a newish company to me, and they make like journals that you can put like specifically for watercolor artists. So like perfect for nature journaling and mindful journaling when you want to do some art and some mindful art. Anyways, I'm excited to try it. Let's open this up and see what it's all about. I'm super excited for the porcelain palette. Okay, let's see what's in here. Oh, I'm so excited. 3 inches. Wait, open it up and oh my gosh, look at this. It's such a cute journal. So this is the journal. This is the travel journal. Nice. Oh, it's a brush. It's not a pen. It's a brush. Oh, look at that. Oh, how pretty. I can't wait to use that. Of course, I'm not going to get it completely wet yet, but that's a nice brush. I like that. 4x6, so perfect for like card making. Look at that. Look at this cute, beautiful little like journal for watercolor. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. It is a little bit small, but that's okay. It's super cute. 4x6 would be perfect for like a little postcard or just something to like send in the mail. This is what I'm really excited about. This is like a porcelain palette that you can put your own paints in. Let's see, I'm opening it up. As you can tell, it fits in my hand, so it's really small. That's really lovely. Look at that. There's the palette. Okay, so here's the wells. There's 18 wells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 18 wells. And then this is the porcelain palette that like everyone is talking about. Porcelain palettes are really nice and they're really expensive actually. Like I use pie plates, but if you were to buy one like at an art store, they can be upwards of 50 to 100 bucks. So the fact that there's like a porcelain that you can just use right here is really awesome. And then you put your paints right in here, and then you can have your little watercolor journal, which, oh my gosh, perfect for watercoloring, nature journaling. This could be a really perfect nature journaling setup right here. I wouldn't need anything else. If I was going to go to my natural prairie and just sketch Neil Smith Refuge, anyways, in Des Moines, right outside of Des Moines, I could just take this with and sketch. I could sketch the buffalo, I could sketch the prairie flowers and the grass, and just have a beautiful time with it. And I like it because the pages are small enough that I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to fill up the whole page, because it's small enough to just paint on. So first off, what I'm going to do to get this palette perfect is I'm going to clean this, and the brush is really stiff because it is brand new, but you just want to brush off this palette. Oh, that's going to be so fun. And then with a paper towel I would just clean it up, and the brush is really nice. It's a nice pointed brush. It reminds me of like a calligraphy brush, but it's really nice. It has a nice point to it. Alright, so I got a split primary color palette figured out. I went to my Watercolor, aka my color stash. I call it my Watercolor. And I picked out a cool and a warm red, a cool and a warm yellow, and a cool and a warm blue, which will hopefully make all the different colors that I want. So, now it's time to play. And then I'll have my convenience colors on the other side. And I'm only going to, I think this is going to be a wonderful palette that I'm going to use a lot in my nature journaling. So I'm just going to have fun. And these are colors that I picked specifically for nature journaling. You might choose a palette that is more for landscapes or only for florals, or, you know, maybe you love to just paint outside, you know, on your break. Make colors that you want. There's 18 wells, so my thought is to do a split primary palette and then do another side of all my favorite colors, which is what I plan on doing. Okay, so I got alizarin crimson. This is Indian red. This is like red oxide. And this is yellow, lemon yellow from Winsor & Newton. Most lemon yellows are all the same. Quin Gold lately, so I'm going to go with Quinacridone Gold. And again, this is just a split primary palette. I go cool, warm, cool, warm. So then I know what my colors are. I know that I'm going to get a cool blue, the ultramarine, which is a very cool blue. And then a phthalo blue. I love phthalo blue in the summer and the spring and even into the fall. And since I'm a seasonal painter, I like to paint the seasons. That's my split primary palette. I can make almost any color I need with those colors. The Quin Gold and the red oxide just really work together. Of course, ultramarine is one of my favorites for skies. Now, I think I will put a purple in here. Like I'm not, but I love ultramarine blue and Quin Gold together. They make such a beautiful green. This is really going to be a perfect landscape. You know, I'll tell you, we are planning on a really big trip to the national parks, to Yellowstone, the Grand Tetons, and to Glacier this summer. And I am kind of like, how much art supplies do I pack? I want a plein air, and I definitely plan on nature journaling, but how much do I want to nature journal and plein air? This gives me a reason to have all my favorite colors in one palette. I wanted to see what the Quin Gold does with phthalo blue, because I haven't actually used those two color combos in a long time. And I'm telling you what, it's beautiful. I'm just pushing that in so that it'll set. But I do like to paint on the paper. I like to mix on the paper. But there we go. I think this is more of a landscape palette. It's very indicative to landscapes. But let's see what we can do with florals. I am going to need some purples. I'm going to need another green or two. And I think I might even bring in 1 or 2 granulating colors. I got 18 wells, so I got to use them wisely. For the actual ceramic, look at that. That's so pretty. And I can just pick it up. So let's go with that Quin Gold. I love Quin Gold. Look at that. Oh, it just makes it so lovely. Oh, this is just a new favorite of mine. Oh, so pretty. Alright, so I'm not going to tear off my paper because I actually will use this for like a color guide. But let's make a cute little, like, let's say I'm out and I just want to make a fun little, I just want to be mindful of where I'm at. So I'm going to just paint how I feel. I'm outside, the sun is shining, I have blue sky, and I just want to kind of get a nice picture of where I'm at. And of course I mentioned that I would take this like to a prairie, and I'm getting excited. The grass is coming up and it's just beautiful. One of the things that I love about phthalo blue is how when you add water, it'll kind of run and do its thing. You can't necessarily, it stains the paper, but that means you get beautiful skies. Alright, so now I can go into my palette. And this is really, really green, you guys. If I were to make some beautiful little grasses. This brush is perfect. I just am really in love with the little lines that you can get, or the thick lines that you can get. So let's say I'm feeling that. I might need a little bit of this red. And look, now I got a completely different green, and it just mixes well on that palette. Oh my gosh, so fun. I have all the thoughts. This is really beautiful. I am going to add a little bit more red and wear this phthalo blue. There we go. I want this olive green. That could just be, maybe it's dirt. I don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking of a summer day. I like that. I'm going to clean off. I always like to carry paper towels with me. So I would assume that that's a, I just carry a little pack with me in like a Ziploc bag. Alright, so I mentioned that I'm going to put some purple in this palette. When you get a new brush, hairs always come out. And that's just normal. That's doesn't you expect that from a nice brush, so it's kind of nice to see that. Anyways, to get purple, there's two blues that I want to try. I know that ultramarine is going to be kind of dull, and if I use red oxide, it's going to be a brown. It's not going to be a purple or true purple. So I know I want alizarin crimson. But what I don't know yet is, look at how that pulls on the, you can just get beautiful mixes really easily. I'm going to try with phthalo blue. I have recently been like totally enamored by phthalo blue. So it is very, very violet. In fact, I need more alizarin crimson. There we go. There's the violet. I also like ceramic because it gives you the true color. So there you go. Now, this is nice because I have more blue and I have more red here and then like the perfect violet color. So what I want to do is I just want to kind of add a little bit of florals. And that does look a little bit dark. So I add some more water to it and that will eventually, that will be about right. Oh, that's so perfect. I always like to think of like a field of clover or I don't know, just something, but I love that. That's really pretty. I do wish that we'll just add that to make a bigger flower. And then I wanted to see how it splatters on the paper, how the brush works. It works perfectly for splatter. That's exciting. And then with splatter, I clean my brush, I'll dampen it up, and then wherever I don't want splatter, I clean it up with the brush. And it just kind of goes into the background. And that's how I get that expressive look. It's really pretty. But let's add just a couple flowers. I think this would be a really pretty little card panel that you could almost cut that and then put it on a card. And that would be really pretty to send to a friend. And you had fun painting, and your friend will have fun, or your family member, or whomever will have fun looking at it. And it's really pretty. And it's when you're painting small like this, you really don't have a lot to choose from as far as composition. But I love that it's on a diagonal. I love that I use my three, you know, parts to the paper, and it just works well. Alright, so I have a lot of blues and purples left over. I don't want to necessarily throw it away, so I'm going to splatter more. And wherever I don't want the splatter, which is on the clouds, I'm just erasing it with a clean, damp brush. And maybe Chinese watercolor artists will do a foreground, background, and a midground. The flowers would be a midground, and the grass that I'm doing would be a foreground. And so now I'm getting all the elements to a perfect landscape, and I'm only using I'm using the only 6 colors that I have, and that gives me color harmony too, which makes me happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I better leave it alone. That's pretty beautiful, I think. I could add another layer. I could add a lot to the sky. I'm going to keep the sky the way it is. It's pretty enough. I suppose if I wanted to, I could just go in And since it's a little wet, you can go in and just kind of add more of those wispy clouds. Just like that, and there we go. I have a perfect little sketch that I did. I would assume that I would be outside painting and enjoying the sunshine on my face and on my, you know, hair, and watching some sports ball that my kids are playing. But this is such a perfect little travel set that I really truly don't need anything else. They really hit it spot on, and I love the paper. The paper is not cheap, so it's not, I don't know if in the instructions it says how thick the paper is. I don't have any information how thick it is. I will look it up online, and when I do my post editing, I will put it in the edits. But I have one more test. Let's say I'm done. This is one of my pet peeves, is I'm done. You know, I gotta go. I don't have time for my palette to dry. I will sometimes, if I know, like, sometimes I just have to go. So I'll take this out, you know, so it doesn't hurt anything. I'm going to put this away. And then I think, and then I'm going to just, what I would do though, is I would switch it out and put this right here. But that only takes a couple minutes. And then I'm off, and I'm on my way. And I could probably carry a pen, like a micron pen. I love my micron pens. I don't go anywhere without my micron pen, but look, it fits so perfectly right there, and that won't move. And I always like to clean my brushes really good, and then I dry them, especially the travel ones. I like to keep them, I don't like to keep them up this way because the water will get into the glue. The bristles are glued probably around here, probably, maybe even up here. And I don't want water to deteriorate the glue, so I always have my brushes point down as much as possible. But this is a nice brush, and it fits, and that fits, and then you can take it with you in your bag or wherever. And wowee, what a perfect little thing to have. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. Did it get dirty? It did not. Look at that. It's all clean. Nothing got on it. I was really expecting some of that red to get on it, but now you know you can fill up those wells, and the porcelain palette is perfect for that. So well done, Lightwish. Thank you so much for sending this to me. This is definitely something that I will use often in my plein air studies and in my nature journaling. There is my perfect watercolor palette. That is what I would use, and that is why it's so pretty. But look at this. Look at how it blends on the palette. That's so pretty. And I just enjoy using a ceramic palette whenever I can. So the fact that this is ceramic really makes me happy. I like ceramic because it doesn't stain, and it's cleaning. It's easy to clean up. It's also easy to use, and you can see exactly, it's easy to mix on your watercolor onto the palette and then paint. So well done. I'm very happy with this, and I hope you guys, if you're needing a fun present to give to a watercolor artist, aka Mother's Day is coming up, or if you just want to treat yourself, this is definitely worth the treat, and I recommend it, especially if you nature journal. I can get any and all colors, sunsets to landscapes to florals, with these colors, and that to me is well worth the money when I can use my own pigments that I already have and make my own palette. Alright, well that's gonna be it, but you can paint and paint and paint for days with this, and what a perfect little palette. If all you want to do is paint, this is perfect. This would be a perfect plein air sketchbook. This would be a perfect nature journaling book. This would be a perfect mindfulness take it on the go. I just want to be mindful of what I'm doing and take a brain break, so to speak. You know, that mindfulness activities really help our brains to grow and develop. And so I'm a big believer in mindfulness activities, and watercolor can be one of those. So this to me is the ultimate best watercolor palette. I'm so happy to have this. All right, enjoy painting. Look up Lightwish. It's a fabulous company, a fabulous product, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks so much for watching.